Over the years, I have become quite serious about cutting out the things that clutter my life and mind. And it has completely transformed the way I live. In this video, I will share 20 things I say no to. And maybe you'll find a few you'll want to say no to as well if you're looking to simplify your life. Some of these are fundamental to living a minimalist life, while others might be a bit more unexpected or personal, since I don't talk about them that often. Let's get to the number one, guilt-driven material gifts. I think we have created for ourselves this gift-giving culture that the standard is just super high. That always when we give out something, it cannot be like mediocre. It cannot be like under some certain standard. And at least I'm not that good gift giver personally. I don't get good ideas. Even though I know people, I don't know what they would like to receive. It takes so long time to understand that, and therefore now I have just stopped that completely. And instead of giving some material gifts that they will not like or they will not even use, as a minimalist I feel it's so much better to give, for example, some consumables, some foods, drinks, let's go eat together, or give some tickets to go somewhere or to experience something together. I think those are so much better options than just getting something like fancy and then they will not even use those or so much like that gift. I feel like I don't even want to give myself this status or standard anymore that I'm good to give gifts. I get a lot of good gift ideas. I believe that it's so much better to just think I will give whatever, like I'm really regular person or even pretty poor at this, so then you don't feel this guilt and you can actually get some ideas and give gifts that can be meaningful in some other ways, like for example experiences over these material amazing things. The second thing is stressful schedules. I really don't know how long time certain things take and how long time I need to recover from those, whether it's like some work thing, some project or social events or things like that. So I don't want to set myself any like very strict schedule that at that point or that time I need to start that thing. I really want to just have a normal idea what I want to do, but then do it at my own pace and not follow this very strict schedule. I think a big part of this is limiting the meetings or limiting the things that you want to do and want to have. Because if you are trying to like schedule 10 things every day, you don't have the time for those breaks between. For sure you don't. So therefore it's better to have like rather too little than to try to like optimistically push too much and book too many things, because you will just burn yourself out. Number three, leaving tasks unfinished. These days I really try to focus on stopping to start new things and starting to finish what I have already started. Because I know that I'm just a person that I cannot fully calm down before something is fully done. If it's like 97% done, I cannot move on to the next thing and have the calm mind and full like 100% focus on that. Because I know that there's still the 3% missing in that other thing. So even though I don't like stressful schedules, I really try to set some sort of deadlines, or in my head at least have some sort of idea when I want to have something finished. Even for my personal projects or hobbies, that helps me to stay on track and avoid getting overwhelmed by having like too many things at the same time. Number four, cold call purchases. I'm just a person who needs time to think, and you will never like achieve a purchase from me from a cold call. Even though you have an amazing offer. So many people have had amazing offers when they call me. And I tell them that yes, it probably is stupid from my side to not take this offer right now, but I'm just not gonna do it. So what I have started to do these days is already, if I know when they are introducing themselves that this is not something that I'm really interested in, I already know that I will not buy this. I have this idea, or not really script, but certain words in my mind or certain things that I know I will say, and then they will just not try to get me to buy something. For example, today somebody called from an electricity company and said, hey, we have this amazing offer, blah, 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 and all this. It was like maybe 15-20 seconds into the call, and I already say, I have a fixed contract with another company. I have to say, I don't remember if it's a fixed contract. Could be that it is not, but that is for words for those people that they know that they cannot sell me anything, because I have a contract until end of this year, for example. So therefore, they will not even try to sell me anything, and they are the ones who hang up the phone hang up the call very, very quickly. 5. Need for productivity. I used to be, a few years ago, really into productivity and try to find all the best tips and tricks and hacks to stay as productive as I can, to get the most out of every single day. But these days, I don't really care about it anymore that much. And that's why I don't talk about it in my videos, even though I believe to be somewhat productive and I know a thing or two about it. Because I know that that is not as important as, for example, focus or being intentional are. I think it's so important to prioritize the tasks or whatever you do based on the importance of the tasks and not just trying to fill every moment with something to stay productive. I think many times the best way to be productive is to actually be unproductive, because that will help you to be more productive tomorrow or in the future. So it's really not black and white at all. And now I have to say that these people who flex with how much they work every day or how much they are able to do every day and accomplish every day are just huge red flags for me, and I cannot really take those people seriously anymore when I have seen how is that lifestyle and how life is on the other side and what you can accomplish on the other side. If you think about the greatest people, inventors or artists or whatever in the world, they were not thinking about what they do every single minute and trying to find on some books or social media or whatever the best hacks to stay productive. They're just so dedicated to their craft and what they want to do. They're so focused and intentional with those that they just end up being productive at the same time. Number 6, keeping clothes I like but don't wear. I think most of us have these type of clothes, and I have had a lot of them in my life. And I have just come to realize that if I don't wear them, why am I then keeping them? It's nice to maybe look at them, but if I never declutter them, there will be hundreds of these clothes in a few years. So it hurts. Of course it hurts a little bit to let go of these things, but you will forget very easily. I go sometimes back to watch my old videos and even have B-roll from like multiple years ago, and I see some old clothes that I have been wearing, and I have completely forgotten that I even own that piece of clothing. So as I have mentioned in many of my previous videos, if you haven't worn something in a long time and cannot see yourself wearing that item in a long time, even though you like it, I think it's just time to let go of that. The 7th thing I say no to is resistance to change. I think we are all the time growing, changing, evolving. And today I came across this comment that really made me think about exactly this. This comment was left to my video where I talk about the 7 levels of minimalism. I was level 2 when I was a teen, then became level 4 around 25 years old, and then I was going for level 5. But then something happened. I started to buy more things which I cared about, maybe trying to thrift, like books, and I feel happy to own them. I also went back to buy more colorful stuff, not useless, just a bit less minimalistic in the design. It's like I found that after a while I get bored of seeing the same stuff and same neutral colors all the time, or the same books on my shelves or the void, or to wear the same clothes again and again. I think that if this person just tried to resist the change in her minimalist journey, she would very much feel overwhelmed and burn out to the whole minimalism, and then there would probably be even worse like consequences mentally because of that. But she was letting the flow like take her, and she realized that, okay, now I don't like this minimalist home design anymore. Let's add a little bit color there. And then she does that. And I believe that that is so important to do in your own minimalist journey or your life journey. The point is to change. Like there's this quote, yes, I have changed. I have removed toxic people from my life. I have invested more time in my self-development. I've been saying no to things that drain my time and my energy. And I've been taking care of my mind and my body. I have definitely changed. Thank you. This is what I think all the time when people say, not to me that often, but in some places I see that, hey, you have changed. You're different nowadays. This is exactly the quote that I always think when I see that. Number 8, ignoring routines. I can really see the difference when I ignore these routines, when I don't start my morning the same way, go out for a walk, meditate a little bit, eat a good, healthy breakfast, read a book and all these things, but just immediately for example, grab my phone, or if I skip an exercise, if I don't take breaks during the day. All these things take just a little bit away from that well-being for me, and I can feel that towards the end of the day. But if I do all these things in my routine that I know are really helpful for me, I just feel so much more peace. But there's something really important to remember when it comes to these routines, and that is the ninth thing I say no to, and that is complicated routines. I have tried these overcomplicated morning or working routines where you need to all the time track something and do something, and it's just so difficult to even stay on track with those things and keep those habits going. It requires so much effort. So nowadays I just have these very simple but fundamental routines that I do every day. Number 10, social events I'm not interested in. We all know those occasions where we get the invitation and we go, we arrive, and the only thing that we want from that point on is just the moment when we are about to go, or just be at home already. And I have realized that there are basically two ways to avoid that. Either that I'm just accepting the situation and really try to make out of that event, and sometimes it works, that I have certain ideas how it will be, like negative ideas, but then actually it will be positive. But with some experience from all these events, I have realized that there are those that it will just not be like that. And then you need to politely just reject that invitation and know that if you care about yourself as you do, it's just better not to go there and do something else with that time. Maybe focus that on your personal well-being and just taking care of yourself. So limit your social commitments to those that you actually want to attend and focus more on the quality and not the quantity. 11. Paying full price without looking for discounts. This is interesting and something that I have only started a few years back. I've noticed that with just one Google search, you can more often than not find some sort of discount code. It might not be minus 80% or even minus 50%. Maybe it's just 10, 15 or 20% discount, but still it takes 1 minute to do and you can actually save a lot of money doing this. I have used an app called Honey for this, maybe you're familiar with it, but the best ones I have actually found are influencers. They are so many times ambassadors to certain things, or they have these coupon or discount codes for certain brands that they have worked with in the past, but those codes are still active. Nobody deactivated them after the campaign was over. Just a little trick if you need to buy something someday, especially online. Number 12, stressful environments, or I could say stress-inducing environments. Places that are full of these bright lights or loud noises. I just say no to these days. I don't, for example, anymore work in places that there's a lot of noise or there are bright lights like on the eye level. I can stay in places that there's a little bit of noise and have my the noise cancelling headphones, but it's so much better to just for me to stay home. It sounds a little bit sad, but that's just how it is these days if I want to be actually focused and feel calm. I think the older I'm getting, the more high sensitive I am actually getting. I don't know what's the reason, but it is what it is. 13, excessive screen time. Because I create these videos, that means that I have to spend quite a lot of time in front of screens. It's just part of the work, but I'm fine with that. What I say no to is when I feel like, okay, now it's the limit. Like I have hit the limit, I cannot anymore do it. I just have to go out. Like for example, yesterday I had been editing my previous video and then it was the afternoon and I felt I cannot anymore just be in front of the screen, look at it like even my phone. So I had still one call scheduled, and I just went outside and had the call there. I was sitting there were maybe people listening to what I'm saying or whatever, but I didn't care about that. I cared so much more that I need to have some fresh air and have the call while I'm actually looking at some nature or whatever, anything else than the screen. So if you feel the same way sometimes, what I suggest to do is change those to analog things. For example, reading books or just going out for walks. That's so much better than going from your PC to watching a movie to scrolling your phone or things like that. The screen, it doesn't matter how big it is, it's still giving the same feeling, at least for me. This is still something I am struggling with many times, but I am trying to be as intentional as possible. Shallow or superficial relationships. I have realized that I don't need so many people in my life actually to be happy. So all these people that I had shallow or not really good relationship with, we had something common that we did together a few years ago, and that's it. And we are messaging or seeing sometimes. I have started to gradually distance myself from those people. It is half intentionally, I have to say. I think I'm just going with the flow, that we have nothing anymore together, similar, not values, nothing that we could do. So that's just where the relationship is going. And I'm just accepting that I don't have to be best buddies with everybody. I'm not pushing people away just because you don't like the same thing that I do. It's not like that. I just know that if I'm saying yes to these people, it means that I'm saying no to some other people, because I have this social battery. I cannot do and be superhuman socially all the time. If I feel that relationship isn't really what I wanted and I don't see that it will ever go there where I would like to have, then I just move, or we move different directions, and that's it. 15, working without a clear purpose, or I would say do anything without a clear purpose. Basically living on autopilot. That is something that I am saying no to. I cannot really see myself anymore doing something just because. And the reason for that is that I'm aware that our time here is limited. So periodically I take time to think about it. What am I doing with my time? What am I doing with my life? And seeing if those aligned with what I actually want to do with my life. This is one of the reasons why I have had so hard time to working some meaningless 9-to-5 jobs just to provide for myself, because there comes the point where I feel like I could do so much better things and get the same money. Why am I doing this? So yeah, that's why I'm saying no to this. But even though I want to have a clear purpose or a vision for things, that doesn't mean that I plan everything, which is the number 16. I really want to leave open, unplanned time for myself and just let life happen. Not always everything needs to be scheduled, especially if you are having a holiday or it's the weekend, it's a day off from work, or you're having some downtime. When you have that free time and there's nothing that you need to do, you actually start to reflect and think, what is then what I want to do with this time? And many times I'm just following my intuition and doing what excites me. Like this week, I started again to read a book that I read 7 years ago. And I don't remember much about it, only think that it was really good and I still have it on my bookshelf, which is quite rare. So I just took the book again and started reading it, and now I'm so into it and seeing the things in completely different, from a completely different perspective, because I've been growing so much in these past 7 years. And without me having this time where there was nothing planned, this wouldn't have happened. Number 17, being late or neglecting deadlines. I grew up in an environment where this really wasn't allowed, or it's really disrespectful. If we are supposed to meet here in this part of the forest and you are not there, then you come 15 minutes late, could be that I already went back home and we will not meet, because I'm expecting you to arrive at that time, because that's for me like a promise. If I say I'm gonna be there, then I'm gonna be there. And I really don't want to live a life where I am disrespecting somebody or making somebody wait for me. So that's why if you need to leave earlier to arrive on time, leave earlier. Or if you need to have a deadline set for something a couple of days earlier so that you have that extra time and feel more peace to actually get it done on time, then do that. This is quite similar to the number 3, leaving tasks unfinished. I just really like an organized life where things are as they are supposed to be, I guess. Number 18, judging others. I guess at this point of the video, we are going more deep in these things. This is something that, as a minimalist, I think about a lot, because I live in a way that not everybody understand. I make choices that not everybody understand, and I don't understand the choices that other people as well make. So how do we then find this respect for each other and not judge others, and why this is so important? I just feel that if we want to do any positive in this world, that needs to come from a place of understanding and respect, and not this judgment or talking bad about others, how they are not doing this and how they are doing that. I think in these videos, for example, if I was constantly telling you that you need to absolutely do this and you can never do that, you would stop listening to me because you understand that that is not how it is. We are all different. We all come from different backgrounds, and putting yourself in other people's shoes is actually how you can understand others and how you can make changes in this world. If I have never been in that situation with my life, I cannot really judge others. I just cannot, and nobody can judge me either for making the decisions that I am making, because they are not me. And sometimes when people judge me, I get the number 19, negative self-talk. I'm really trying to say no to this and focus on all the good things that I have in my life. But of course, it's not always so easy. You cannot 100% of the time just completely say no to that negative self-talk. It will just happen anyway. But in those moments, I think it's very important to understand that they are just thoughts, and other people's opinions about you, they are not the reality. So what I do, and what you can do as well, is to focus on the positive things that you have in your life and remember all the achievements that you have done and what you are currently doing. I do this every month, where I write down all the good things that happened this month, all the achievements that I had, and then also the things that I want to focus on next month, what I could have done better. By doing this, I'm little by little saying no to the negative self-talk, even though I'm not actually saying no to it. I'm just saying yes to all the positive things, and that means saying no to that negativity. Number 20, living in fear. The world, the news especially, I think is just full of fear, anger, frustration, negativity, all that. And I think many of those feelings are just self-created by letting the fear control you. And I'm not telling you to live in a bubble that everything is fine always and whatever. I'm just saying there's so much good happening in the world every single day. So many amazing things, so many acts of kindness and respectful things. But it's your choice if you want to see those or if you want to see only that negativity. So instead of choosing that fear and hate and anger, choose love, choose compassion, choose kindness. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to stay kind and meaningful in your own beautiful journey. See you in the next video. Ciao.